Hi, welcome for joining me. Thank you for joining me. I'm Shannon. I'm a little discombobulated. The roof is going on. It should be done today. I thought it was going to be done by now, but it's not. And so it might be a little noisy, but I do have my microphone, so hopefully we can get through this. Anyway, so today what we're going to do is we're going to create and flip some thrifted finds. I go thrifting every Tuesday with my father, pick him up, we have a nice breakfast, and then we go hit a couple of thrift stores. So I have a couple of those items here. We're going to start some of them, and then we are going to probably finish them up tomorrow. I don't think we'll be able to get them all done today because they'll need to dry. All right, let's see if I can pin this comment. I don't know if I can or not. All right, so before we actually get started with the project, I want to just show you what I found. I love these brass. Anything brass I buy. So see this little buffalo, how cute is he? Yeah, sometimes I just have to keep them. I do sell a lot of brass at the shop, but this guy is mine. And then what I did was I got a little bag at the thrift store's bag. It was $1.99. Good morning. Thank you for joining me. Hi. Is it Deanna or Diana? Either way, thanks for joining me. Oh, that's right. Good morning, because you're a few hours behind us. That's right. Then I found this. Look at this. I thought it was a door knocker, but no, you hang it on the wall and you stick papers up there and it will hold your paper. And after Google lensing it, it's worth a lot of money. But even before I found out that, I was keeping it. So this will be mounted probably back there by where my computer goes, and it'll hold papers. So, but anytime I find brass, I always have to buy the brass because brass it's very trendy and people love brass. And I never shine mine up before I sell it because some people like the old patina on them. And then if they want it shine up, they can do it. It's very simple. All right. So the first thing we're going to do is, I'm going to put gloves on. I've gotten lazy in my older age. I've discovered that if you just put on some gloves, you don't have to wash your hands and scrub your hands for hours getting all the paint and stuff off. So it's just easy just to put on some gloves. All right. So this here, let me switch my screen around. I'm going to go here. So this right here is a Lazy Susan, and it was like a dark brown, and oops, wrong one. Here, I can show you here. This is what it looked like before, and I am going to go back and paint it. It's just when I was prepping it for today, I wanted to make sure this part was done. But see that's not such a pretty color, so I wanted to change that. And so I went ahead and I put on a primer coat, and then I painted 2 coats of white with the Dixie Belle. But what we're going to use today, I'm not sure if you are familiar with them, but this is a Maker Studio. I will put a link in the comments when this is done, but look at how cute this heifer is. I'm going to show you how easy it is to use this, and it can be used more than once as long as you clean it and you wash it. And this one is called Country Girl. And there's the cutest it's a ball jar, and it has 3 little stems, but you just put the flowers on top of them. It's darling. But we're just going to concentrate on the heifer today. How cute is she? We're going to put her on here. So let me get her out. Okay. So take my scissors. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to cut out the part of the design that I want to use. I don't need to put all of it on here. These are self-adhesive, so you don't have to worry about them sliding or moving whenever you put them in the spot you want to put them. And I'm going to cut that part off because I don't need that to transfer onto my Lazy Susan. So we're going to put it just like this right in the middle. I guess I could put her down here and I could put some words, but hey, Michaela. But I really don't have any words for this. So for right now, I'm just going to put this on. And we're going to be using the Maker Studio. This is chalk art. It's thicker, and it just runs right through the stencil. You cannot mess it up. So let's do that. So what you do is you just kind of take it off the backing. And then you just put it right where you want it. And then you make sure it sticks down. Moo. Are you calling me a heifer? All right. And now there are certain areas here that are kind of close to the edge. So I could take blue tape and I could tape those edges, and knowing myself, and I'm kind of a sloppy crafter, I'm going to go ahead and just tape it up now because that way I don't have to worry about it later, about making a mess. And if I do make a mess, I can always take the white chalk paint and go over it. There we go. And I'm going to have to get down here by the flower too. It's not really easy to tear tape when you have gloves on, but there we go. Okay, so when you're applying the chalk art, you can do it with like a rubber squeegee. You can do it with an old credit card. Sometimes I use the IOD transfer tool. Just depends on what you have handy or what you like to use. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to use an old credit card. That way I can just simply go down my whole design. If I wanted to do like the bow in red, the flower in pink, you know, the nose black and him all brown, I could use my little squeegee. I can just do certain parts. And I do have all the colors, but I just want this one to be all black, or excuse me, all brown. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a little bit of the chalk art. And the chalk art's thick, but a little goes a long way. I probably have too much, but let's see, I'll put some of this back. A little goes a long way, and let me show you. So when you take your credit card, you simply just press and drag down, and it gets right into the little design. What makes this so nice about it not bleeding through or not getting any smearing underneath is because it's a mesh stencil. So it's pretty impressive. Does a good job. Can you make a mistake? Absolutely. But if generally you don't, because as long as your stencil is down good, you won't have an issue. All right. I'm trying to be very careful because I don't want to get any brown. It looks like I already splattered some. Nope. Splattered some right there, but I'll touch that up with a little bit of white chalk paint. Oh, now it sounds like my lawn guy is outside. Hopefully you can't hear too much of it because I have the microphone on, which generally blocks out a lot of the background noise. All right. Let me get my glasses because I want to make sure that I don't miss any part of it, any part of the design. Okay, so then I just want to go back and make sure I get any excess off. I don't want it pooled up or puddled up, so I'm just going to kind of make sure I have a nice even coat everywhere. Okay, that looks good. Now what I do is you just lift it off. I always get nervous because I've done this before where it didn't work because I was doing it on a ceramic piece, a plate, and on certain ceramics, because some kind of topping, it doesn't adhere. So I always peek first. Yeah. All right, here we go. Ready? Oh, thanks, Cheryl. Thanks, Michaela. I'm glad. I can certainly hear them. But whoa, look how adorable. Oh my goodness. All right, let me get this blue tape off. Now I can reuse this stencil. All I need to do is rinse it with water, and if I let it sit too long, a little bit of soap and water, and it's fine, you can use it again. But look how darling. Now I did get a little bit of brown right here, but I'm going to wait till that dries and then just touch it up with some white chalk paint. Now this does need more, because just this little cute heifer design it's cute, but it still needs more. It's lifted. So what we're going to do, I'll probably come back on either later tonight because I have some free time tonight, or I might come on tomorrow. And what my plan is I'm going to use the Pent Art pouring medium and maybe use some glitter and maybe some of the inks. I don't know. I don't really want to cover her up, but if I just tint it just a tad, that might be cute. But definitely I'm going to pour this pouring medium. This pouring medium is really good for when you do paint pours, but this will also protect and give it a nice coating. And I might just throw some glitter around the sides. I might decide that I want to paint the edges. I don't know yet, but definitely I know I just need to let this dry for a little bit, but I wanted to get it started with you guys. But isn't it darling? And you see how easy that is? And there is no mistake because it is a mesh stencil. It's kind of a tongue twister. So you really don't mess up unless you get the ink outside the stencil like I generally tend to do. But, and it's by a Maker Studios. They have a million different stencils and they are super, super easy to use. Again, I'll put a link in it, the comment afterwards. Yes, Cheryl, look crisp, right? I didn't have to, like with a regular stencil, you generally have to like clear coat it first. The paint doesn't go under the stencil. That's why I'm not a big stencil person, but I do love these because they are really easy to use. And like there's a million different designs. Okay, so now we're gonna put this to the side, let it dry, and then we'll revisit that either later tonight or tomorrow. But I'll post before I go on, just so in case you want to catch it, you can. If not, you can always catch it on the replay. Speaking of replay, if you're watching this and you're catching on the replay, make sure you put hashtag replay. All right, so before I go into the next project, I want to show you something I was working on last night. Now, I'm going to do an online class for this. And if you, in the comments, I think below pinned is, let me put it up here. Yeah, it's pinned. I'll put it on the screen one time. And it looks crappy on the screen, so we'll take it down. If you text the word create to the number in the comments, 833-645-0412, text create, I'll put you on my list for online workshops and when I go live. So what I'll do is I'll just send a quick text, going live today at such time, or brand new online classes available. Make sure you get signed up. I won't send you anything else. Maybe once in a while a coupon code for the website, but other than that, I won't bother you. But if you're interested, definitely text create to that number. All right, so Michaela, I know you're in and out, but because I know you're working, I showed you this morning. Isn't this amazing? The transfer. I showed her the before picture. It is amazing what it looks like now. But this is what the online class is going to be. It's going to be taking let me see. I'll pull it up on my phone. Taking a picture that is not so pretty and making it look like an old cracked. Oh yes, it's Cheryl. It's 833-645-0412. Okay, I'm gonna pull that picture up real quick. I'm gonna show you what the before is. You guys will be amazed what. Oh, let's see, where is it? Dun 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 dun. I sent it to Michaela this morning. Oh gosh. Well. Oh, there it is. Get that off. Guacamole, come on, you're killing me. I love guacamole. So this is the before. Now see how it was just an ordinary, my husband is texting me a picture, sorry about that. See the clay? It's got like these snowflakes, and I don't even know what that is. It looks like a jalapeno. But to me, it just wasn't cutting it for me. So what I did was, oh, you're welcome, Cheryl. Oh, how do you say that? Is it Tricia? I like it. Thank you. Okay, so this is going to be an online class coming. So I'm going to show you how to turn a boring, old, yucky ceramic pitcher into something cool like this. Lots of steps, but it's fun, and it'll be an online class. It'll be a kit. You can buy all the stuff that you, it'll come with everything you need for this except for maybe some chalk paint and the pitcher, because you guys can find your own pitcher. I think I picked this one up at Goodwill for $3.99. They're out there, especially the ugly ones. You could probably get for $2. You may even already have one at home that you just wouldn't mind redoing. But so look for this, I don't know, probably in like a couple months. My son's graduating, so I've got a lot going on right now. So probably, and I'm going on a couple trainings. I'm excited, IOD, and I'm going to another paint conference. But so probably summertime I'll do this one. But if you're, just text create and you'll get a text when I'm going to do this. And it'll be, like I said, a kit. It'll probably be a couple nights because it's, there's a lot of dry time in this. But you'll be able to catch it on the replay and work at your own speed too if you can't join us when we do it live. But anyway, so that's what, there's an online class coming. I just wanted to show you. All right, now let's get to the second project we're going to do. Here, ooh, now this one here, this is a bigger picture. And believe it or not, it had, it was really ugly. Well, I'm sorry. I didn't like it. It may have been somebody else's cup of tea. It wasn't my cup of tea. I have before pictures, but I'm going to be doing that in a separate video, befores and afters. But this one was painted like a watermelon. So it had like the green rind part down here, and then the red watermelon, the fruit part, and then like the seeds. For me, not something that I would have in my home, but look, primer, some chalk paint. When I say primer, I should just say it. I use Slick Stick by Dixie Belle. So it will allow paint to adhere to glass, to ceramic, anything shiny. So I put Slick Stick on, let it dry, chalk paint, it's dry and it's ready to go. Now this, to me, is more of like a country picture. Now look what we're going to put on it. All of you all know, well, from my other page, know that I love Iron Orchid Designs. I'm on their page. I do stuff for them sometimes, but I'm always creating with them. They have paint inlays, they have stamps, they have molds, they have transfers. And as a matter of fact, this right here, the mushrooms, those are from the transfers. Super easy. But we're going to be using their new stamp. It's called, it's always French, and I'm not French, so La Chim. No, there's no H. La. How do you say that? La Campagne? Campagne? I don't know. All I know is it has some really cool stamps. Look at this. It's got a big fat rooster, hen. Look at the bowl. It's got some roses. And then on the other page, it's over there. This one comes with 2 different pages. It has a smaller rooster and hen. And it even has little baby chicks. So, but can you guess which one I'm going to use? Will it be the bull, the rooster, or the flower? Any guesses? I already know what I'm going to do, but I was just wondering if you all had a guess. Where's my water? My thirsty. I'm just going to grab my water. No guesses? Well, I guess if you're guessing, it does take a little bit to come through on here. I should have done a poll. I know you can do a poll on here, but I wasn't prepared to do that. So I'm going to use this guy. I love him. And I think he'll fit perfect right on here. Yes, see, we think alike, Michaela. Now, normally when you're using the IOD stamps, you want to leave them on the backing because you want to be able to press firmly on it. But since this is a rounded surface, I'm simply going to be just using the stamp. And let me show you why. Let me just pull it off of here. This is my first time using this rooster because he's new. I want him to be able to wrap around, and it's going to go like this. Now, maybe I'm being a little ambitious, but I think it's going to be fine. It doesn't have to give me a perfect imprint because I'm also going to be using my absolute very favorite IOD stamp is the Vintage Texture Crackle. And we're going to go back and add some crackle to it. So it's going to make it look aged. So if parts of ink don't transfer well, it's okay because it's going to look old and worn. So first thing I need to do is I need to figure out how I'm going to, let's use some of these, make my picture sit still the way I want it to. Kind of wedge it. There we go. Oh, thanks. Oh, hey, Teresa. That's another one. Thank you. Yeah, that's going to be a class. I know some people already know how to do that, but this is going to be for like people that don't know how to do it. It's just going to be fun. All right. So there's the picture. I'm just going to stick it over there for a second. Let me show you how I ink this. Now, you can do it with a brayer, and that's what I normally use when I want a really thick, heavy imprint. But I want this one to be kind of light. So I'm going to use my my Iron Orchid Designs stamp pad. Now this is a new pad, so I had to ink it up, and that's why there's some white spots just because it hasn't. I put this on like an hour ago, and it hasn't sprayed out all, or spread out all the way. But whoever good Cheryl, it'll make my job easier when talking to y'all if you change your name. But I didn't want to load up with too much ink because sometimes when you're doing a stamp and you want a light impression, you don't want that much ink on your stamp pad. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to, and you'll start to see all the detail. The Iron Orchid Designs, everything that they make, the details are simply incredible. The molds, if you caught my live last week, like the fairy door that I put on the mushroom, the details on everything are just simply amazing. Little dog hair and a little Labrador. Seems I have to get hair a lot. Okay. Now, what I'll do is I'll take a baby wipe and I'll just double check to make sure I don't need to clean up any areas, like around if I've got any ink by accident, like on the edge of that stamp right there. There's my dog. I don't know if you heard him, but he was grunting because he's stretching. All right. I'm a little nervous here, but we're just going to go for it because you know what? The worst thing that can happen is I need to let it dry and I just have to repaint it. And then stamp it again. Okay, so the biggest thing with the stamps is once you commit, you commit. You leave it there. I'm going to have to stand up for this just so I have better. Okay, so I'm going to commit. I'm going to let it just fold. And I'm going to press. It is more difficult to stamp on a round surface, but it can be done. It's always important to keep one hand on the stamp to hold it in place. You can switch hands, but just make sure all right. Let's see that I did okay. Wait, let me just make sure. Ooh, I love it. Look at the detail. Let me bring it up closer. So it's a little bit vintage distress looking, but the stamp already is a little bit like that. Now some of his tail didn't come out, and that's okay. That's kind of near the spout. So that's probably because I didn't give it a firm press right there, but look at how cute. I love it. Now this ink by IOD is permanent ink, so it will stay. Okay, I'm just going to stick that to the side for a second. Thanks, Cheryl. Now what I simply do is I just, until I can get to the sink, I take a baby wipe and I just kind of, while it's still wet, get all that ink off. it makes the life of your stamp longer, keeps it clean. There we go. See? And actually, I don't even need to take it to the sink. Okay. And then what I can do is I can just put it right back where it belongs, right here. Right back home. And then IOD does have envelopes that you can stick your whole ink, or excuse me, your stamps in. All right. Now for the crackle part. Now this stamp is fun. They have it in two sizes. They have a giant one that's this size, 12 by 12. Or with the vintage texture stamps, they come with 4 different, one's for metal, one's chippy paint, this one's crackle, and I forget what the other one is, but we're going to use the crackle. So it looks like we have our paint is chipping off, like it's old. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to ink up my stamp. I'm just going to do it lightly. I'm going to cover the whole stamp, and I'll explain why in just a second. When I put this on, if I were to put this whole thing on, it would look like a big square. And I don't want, you don't want to see a square. You want to see crackle. So basically what I do is I kind of just round the stamp. See how it's like round? And then I'll just use part of it. And then you can see, let me lift that up. So it's just cracking in certain areas, and you can put on as many cracks as you want. And now that's why I do the whole stamp, because I'll use different parts of the stamp to get different cracks. But I try never to use the pointed edge because I don't want to see an edge. Now see, here is an edge here because I used here. So I'm just going to fix it by rolling part of it out. There we go. You could put on as many. Oh, look at that one. That's pretty. I'll do a couple more over here. Some on the handle, on the lip. Now, with chippy paint and this bright white picture, for me, it doesn't really go together. So what I need to do is I let the ink dry. Like this will have to dry. Generally, they say to let it dry 24 hours, but sometimes I rush it a little bit. But what I'll be doing is I'll be putting some kind of, probably the clear glossy varnish on it. And it'll give it like a little bit of an amber color. So it'll look kind of like the old ironstone where it looks a little bit amberish. So that's what I'll be putting on it. But I'm going to also I'm going to stamp more around the sides. But I can't show it to you. Well, I can show it to you, but it won't be able, I won't be able to lay it down because one side's wet. So let me just go ahead and do some more chippy paint on here. Some crackle, I mean. There we go. So we now have our new picture, the chicken. And, you know, now that I'm looking at it, I really think that the next time I'm going to have to use this guy. Look at him. I just love him. I know he's got a special name, but I don't know what it is. So maybe I'll have to make it my own name for him. All right. So real quick, I just want to remind you that if you are interested in online classes that I'm coming up with, we're probably won't be for a couple months, but to get on the list, if you want to be first to know about them, or if you want to be notified when I go live, just text that number, create. And if this is something that you think somebody might like, go ahead and share it. If you're on Facebook, if you're seeing it on YouTube, make sure to like and subscribe and hit that notification that you want to be notified when my videos come online. All right, so let me just show you this again. I just love this guy. Once it's totally dry, like I'll probably like either later tonight or tomorrow, I'll come on and we'll finish this up. If I happen to do it not live, I will absolutely post the video because I normally always record everything, but I'll record it, and I will put the link in the comments in just a second. This would be super cute, probably. Thanks, Michaela. This would be super cute, probably, like if I used some, like painted some of it out with some chalk paint and then sealed it. But we're going to use the pouring resin. I think that's the goal. Or I just might use some clear resin. I haven't quite decided yet, but anyway. So there's a lot of noise going on around me, so I just want to, I don't know if you can't hear that. It doesn't look like it's showing up on my microphone, but appreciate you for joining me today. And